Rob Ray with Celebrity Birthdays.
Sylvester Stallone. Yo, Adrian.
That was Burt Ward. Burt Ward who played Robin.
Yo, Adrian, that's not how you pronounce it.
In the TV show Hunter, 76 today. And also 76, 43rd President of the United States, George W. Bush. Let's see, Oscar-winning actor Jeffrey Rush, 71 today. Actress Alice Beasley of Moonlighting fame, 68 today. Tamara and Tia Mowry, twin actresses. The TV show Sister Sister, not kid actresses anymore, 44 today. Comedian Kevin Hart, 43 today. There you have it. Today in history, today's celebrity birthdays. The WCDO.
Jeffrey Rush, Professor Lionel Logue in The King's Speech, fine film, starring
water activities like
Robin.
swimming and boating are fun
That's
when
right.
it's deployed.
Burt Ward, 77 today. We'll take you way back to 77 now with a great tune from Billy Joel's album The Stranger. This is Billy's favorite song of his own, as told to Stephen Colbert at The Late Show. Yes, it's scenes from an Italian restaurant. No, it's not. It's Steely Dan from the album Asia with Beg. Also came out in 1977. And this is not my big debut, but welcome to the morning show. Again, it's just a few minutes for me to go to my day job as an Ecotech here in town. Just cranking them up. Actually, now I'm on my lunch. I'm doing a double track.
Come back.
Steely Dan, man. That's right. And what's your favorite foreign movie? Let me know. Give me a call. 573-680-0356. Back to the heartbeat of the Tri-County.
Hours early afternoon, then sunny, the high 75 to 80. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 55. Tomorrow, sunny, the high near 80. Friday, partly sunny, maybe some showers or thunderstorms, the high near 80. Saturday and Sunday, sunny, the high 75 to 80. Right now, 67 degrees at WCDO.
Just before, when Rob Ray was talking about, this day in history, he mentioned Forrest Gump. He said 1994, Forrest Gump. And then he said, I've seen that movie too, but I haven't seen much recently or something to that effect, or I haven't in a while or something like that. So yeah, Forrest Gump, 1994. I've seen that movie too. I have. Now, this one's posted out there on YouTube. Fantastic video by Sid Livy. I've seen his videos, too. I have. I can see by your eyes, you must be lying. When you think I don't have a baby, crazy. also seen his movie too, Sir Elton John's, Rockin' Man, fine film, Academy Award winner for the music of the film, of course, starring Taron Egerton. Now, speaking about this Tom Hanks and Forrest Gump thing, there was something on my phone earlier about Tom Hanks was wondering, or was confused rather, why did Disney replace Tim Allen with Chris Evans? In those whole things, with the whole Toy Story thing, I guess, the whole Buzz Lightyear thing. Why?
And I'll have that story, David Williams, tonight on the program. This whole Tim Allen thing. Why was he relieved of his position there on the Toy Story franchise? I don't know. We'll find out tonight.
But yeah, that sounds like a good one for maybe reading after work,
Absolutely.
Because I'm confused. Why did it happen? I don't have the first clue, But yeah, this is a great bit. And of course, I've seen that movie too. And, lots of other films. We could talk about it, but not now. Of course, I saw The Lion King, the 1994 Disney animated feature with Faye as well, and saw The Lion King live on Broadway. And now at the Minskoff Theater back in the day. And what a lovely day it was with Faye. I got to go, folks. That's right. I'll be back at lunch or after work. Bye-bye now.
That was the Mona Lisas and Mad Hatters, a key signature song here at apartmentkaraoke.com from his album Honky Chateau. Elton John. Now, I don't know why this popped up. I guess it's just random. Now, that was like 12 and a quarter minutes from this morning, and I had the microphone active, and then, my cell phone shut the thing off. So I just figured I'll just record a recording, and then now I'm at lunch, And anyway, as I mentioned before, this was the, actually I didn't mention it, did I? June Hymn. Posted out there by Van Halen by the Decemberists, as voted on by you, the listener, last month. This month, of course, it's a fabulous song called Saturday in the Park by Chicago. But let's go back a month.
Here's a hymn to welcome in the day, heralding a summer's early sway, and all the bulbs all coming in to begin. Thrushes bleeding battle with the wrens disrupts my reverie again. Pegging clothing on the line, training jasmine how to vine up the arbor to your door, and more. Standing on the landing with the war you shouldered all the night before. Once upon it, yellow bonnets, garland all along. You were waking, day was breaking, a panoply of song. And summer comes to Springville, a barony of ivy in the trees, expanding out its empire by degrees, and all the branches burst to blue in the bloom. Heaven sent this cardinal maroon to decorate our living room. Once upon it, yellow bonnets, garland all along. You were waking, day was breaking, a panoply of song.
just because June's over doesn't mean that I would not do that. I'd also do June is Busting Out All Over, which, of course, was the 2020 June Song of the Month here at apartmentkaraoke.com. And we continue now by switching the radio and going to, Heartbeat of Tri-County.
Classic hits and today's best music. Glad to have you with us. I'm Jim Tamayo. Another tip on life. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Think about it. Back with more music on WCDO.
The Unadilla driver now showing.
Think about it. I think about Phil Collins, Now, one of the ladies in the front office, one of our newer ladies in the front office there at the department where I work, I work in cardiology, I just don't tell you where. She said to me, hey, it's Another Day in Paradise, as I was walking past with the machine. I go, yeah, Phil Collins, great song from his 1989 album. But no, I'm serious, but seriously, Phil's fourth studio album of his own, the one in which, it was the English press came after Phil, Yeah, how could a rich guy like Phil do a song like that, Another Day in Paradise? Phil was just saying. And, of course, just think about it, people that don't have as much possibly as you do, as I do, and maybe struggling to find a place to live, find some food to eat and so forth. And so, now if you want to read that story, go to genius.com, pull out the sidebar, and you'll find out not only that, but you'll find out that Phil's song, Another Day in Paradise, it was the last number one song of the 1980s and the first number one song of the 1990s. Go figure. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do it, sure. Yeah, she said it to me. And I said, yeah, you bet. Phil Collins, great tune. But I didn't actually go into the whole, backstory of the people coming after Phil, as they continue to do to this very day. And then whenever they do, I defend Phil to my utmost. Like when it was Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin that said that it was Phil Collins that ruined Stairway to Heaven. The version played July 13th, 1985 at Live Aid. Who was the only guy to do it on both sides of the ocean that day at Live Aid? Do you remember? Well, it was Phil Collins. First he did it in the United States, performed with Led Zeppelin, nothing wrong with the tune, flew over to London on the Concorde, landed, someone drove him out to Heathrow Airport, he got up on stage and he did Against All Odds and other hits as well, I believe.
She calls out to the man on the street, sir, can you help me? It's cold and I'm nowhere to sleep. There's somewhere you can tell me. He walks on, doesn't look back. He pretends he can't hear her. Starts to whistle as he crosses the street.
it's just Phil, reminding us to be thankful for those things that we have, and I thank him for that. Now it's the top of the hour. It's noon, and to the heartbeat of the Tri-County.
Him at this time for 7 counts of first-degree murder.
Meantime, police in Richmond, Virginia say they thwarted a planned July 4th mass shooting after receiving a tip that led to arrest and the seizure of multiple guns. A source tells the AP Donald Trump's former White House counsel, Pat Cipollone, is scheduled to testify Friday before the House committee investigating the Capitol riot. In her testimony before the committee, Cassidy Hutchinson, an aide to former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, talked about what Cipollone said about Donald Trump going to the Capitol January 6th.
We need to make sure that this doesn't happen. This would be legally a terrible idea for us. We have serious legal concerns if we go up to the Capitol that day.
And he talked about if Trump does go to the Capitol on the 6th.
We're going to get charged with every crime imaginable if we make that movement happen.
The source tells the AP Cipollone agreed to appear before the committee for a private transcribed interview. Sajid Javid told the British Parliament why he resigned as health minister.
I also believe a team is as good as its team captain, and that a captain is as good as his or her team. So loyalty must go both ways. The events of recent months have made it increasingly difficult to be in that team.
A defiant Prime Minister Boris Johnson says he will not resign. 2 top ministers in all and a slew of junior officials say they could no longer serve under Boris Johnson's scandal-tarred leadership. This is AP News.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry. And
all right, so we're looking forward to this Pat Cipollone testimony. He's the one that went running into the White House and said, you got to stop this. You got to stop this. We could be accused of every single crime in the book if you don't stop this, according to the testimony of Ms. Hutchinson, a former White House aide. So, yeah, we're definitely looking forward to hearing what this guy has to say. In just a little while, we'll have Craig Stevens with Lunchtime with the Oldies coming out. But I thought I'd switch it up to this great hit by the band America, Sister Golden Hair.
Tried to make it Sunday, but I got so damn depressed that I set my sights on Monday, and I got myself undressed. I ain't ready for
like those doo-wops, you're going to love Craig Stevens with Lunchtime with the Oldies. They got a lot of tunes that do that. They feature tunes from the 50s, 60s, and the early 70s in just a moment.
The noon hour has arrived. It's Lunchtime with the Oldies on WCDO.
But like love that one. Stone Love by the Supremes. And Diana was not in the band at that time. Yeah, Diana had left, and that's what a great sound. And, of course, Love Child at the top. A double shot of the Supremes to kick off Lunchtime with the Oldies, WCDO. I'm Craig Stevens. Thanks for coming along. And I've got a great lineup for you. For example, I've got a one-hit wonder from a guy named Ernie Maresca. The song is called Shout, Shout, Knock Yourself Out. The Association is in there. We'll have Tommy Rowe, the band War, the Beatles, the Jackson 5, the Music Explosion, and more. Lunchtime with the Oldies, brought to you by Corbin Curley and certified financial planner Ed Curley with Wells Fargo
All right,
Advisors.
folks, if you're looking to check out your finances, do a snapshot of where you're at, call Ed Curley. Now I'm going to make that transition. Got Stone Love, Supremes. I'm going to switch it up to Stone in Love from their album Escape. This is Journey.
Those crazy nights I do remember in my youth. I do recall those were the best times, most of all. In my head, when I'm thinking, girl, dirty love from once in a lifetime. She found me singing by the riverside, took me home. She pulled me down. Ooh, I didn't tell her. We got in the heat with a blue jean girl. Dirty love, come once in a lifetime. All the memories fade away. Golden girl, I keep you forever. Those songs I'm calling. So in love.
was Journey with the great tune. Steve Perry here off of his most recent engagement. I think he's going to do an Oh Sherry. That's right, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Perry.
I need a love that grows. I don't want it unless I know. Baby, stretching out, someone somehow will be there, ready to share. I need a love that's strong. I'm so tired of being alone. But will my lonely heart play the part of the fool again? Before I begin this heart, hear me calling, stop before you stop falling. This heart, heed my warning. You've been wrong before, don't be wrong anymore. Feeling my feeling again. I'm there to get my chance win. I'm knocking on my heart once more. Think I'll let her in before I begin this heart. Hear me calling, stop before you stop falling. This heart, heed my warning. You've been wrong before, won't be wrong anymore. This foolish heart, you've been wrong Foolish heart, hear them calling, stop before you stop falling. Foolish heart, heed my warning. You've been wrong before, don't be wrong anymore. Foolish
All right, the legendary Steve Perry. I read a story not too long ago. Steve Perry suggested you young aspiring artists, not to use auto-tune. I just want to say auto-tune was not used at all in either of those two great tunes, Stone in Love or Foolish Heart. You could probably tell that, my fine listener, I'm sure. Now back to the heartbeat of the Tri-County.
It's much to prove a summer's day, two ways running round in the city, but here on the sand I can dream away. Oh, look at the girls if they're pretty. It's a turn down day, nothing on my mind. It's a turn down day, and I dig it. There's nothing easier I can do than lying around
goodness, folks, I got to go. Yeah, I only got a few minutes left of my lunch. Thank you very much. I hope you'll continue to listen from the after work section of today's show. Continuing with the program now, after work. Tonight on the program, Peter Gabriel and the ubiquity of a certain song of his. You know, which one was it? He's got a lot of great hits out there. Was it a Sledgehammer? Was it In Your Eyes? What was it? You'll find out when I read the story tonight. Wayne LaPierre of NRA. Yeah, I got another story. It's that whole thoughts and prayers thing. The comedians, when they went to the NRA convention and they did it. I had that a few weeks ago. I'll have another one, well, because of the recent shooting, Highland Park, and they did it again. Yeah, those comedians that do that, at least that's what I understand, or that they did something about it. I'm not sure exactly what they did. And, we'll have another story once again about the NRA. I'm going to bring out some of the older stories and talk about them. And then, of course, there is that question that was lingering earlier on the show about why did Chris Evans replace Tim Allen in Lightyear, from the Toy Story movie franchise? And the answer to that is I don't have the first clue, but we might find out more tonight when I have this story about Tom Hanks asking the same question. Now, because I do have a story about Peter, I have here the Carpet Crawlers, the 1999 version. Now, there's a story about that. Originally came out on Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, 1975, shortly before Peter left the band Genesis. Of course, then Phil took center stage. And in 1999, well, they came back. They might have done it a few years earlier, but whatever. It came out on the album Turn It On Again with Phil and Peter sharing lead duty. So I'm going to do this one in mobile mode, meaning, driving to the Two Hearts Sunglasses supermarket, a supermarket that was named, yes, in honor of Phil's song Two Hearts from the movie Buster.
There is lambs wool under my naked feet. The home is soft and warm, gives off some kind of heat. The salamanders curls into flame to be destroyed. Imaginary creatures are trapped in birth on celluloid. The fleas cling to the golden fleece, hoping they'll find peace. Each thought and gesture, a caught in celluloid. There's no hiding in my memory. There's no to avoid. The crawlers covered the floor in the red open corridor. From our second sight of people, they more life more than before. They're moving in time to a heavy world door, where the needle's eye is raking, closing on the pole. The carpet crawlers keep their crawlers. Gotta get in to get out. We've gotta get in to get out. We've gotta get in to get out. There's only one direction, it's faces that I see. It's up into the ceiling, where the change is said to be. Like the forest found the sunlight, it takes root in every tree. They are pulled up by the magnet, and leaving they are crawlers. Keep their crawlers. We've gotta get in to get out. We've gotta get in to get out. We've gotta get in to get out. My medicine's Heed their chorus. Gotta get in to get out. Gotta get in to get out. Come back and chorus. Heed their chorus. We gotta get in to get out. To get
All right, Genesis. I'll get into the Wayne LaPierre story when I return. Yeah, I'm at the Two Heart Sunglasses supermarket right now. I'll be right back in just a moment. You're listening to The Morning Show. Here's some more Genesis from their 1983 self-titled album, Phil Collins on lead, where the character is a hitman, okay? And he's a bang, 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 bam, bam, bam. And that's really what it's all about, you know? And, yeah, he's got a job to do. He's a hitman, and he uses a weapon. Now, Phil's not really like that, folks. It's a song. You sing it. That's really all there is to it. But anyway, this one's written by Carla Sinclair for boingboing.net, and it's directed directly at Wayne LaPierre, as it has been previously, and for what he's done and his bankrupt place, the NRA, both financially as well as morally bankrupt. Now, a week after the Uvalde Elementary School shooting, that's right, at Robb Elementary, that killed 19 children and 2 teachers, the Good Liars, Jason Selvig, that's the guy's name, I couldn't remember the guy's name, and his thing, the Good Liars, trolled the NRA and Wayne LaPierre at an event in Houston, praising Mr. LaPierre to his face for all the magical thoughts and prayers for the NRA CEO sent after each shooting, after shooting, after shooting, after shooting. And Wayne LaPierre, along with his gun-toting, zombified audience, is so detached from reality, he didn't even seem to notice that he was being had. So after yesterday's 4th of July, of course, this was a couple of days back, yesterday's 4th of July mass shooting at a parade in Highland Park in the Chicagoland area that killed 6 people, actually that number's 7 now, and injured 38 others, along with more than 100 other people shot. Many fatally over this past holiday weekend. Mr. Selvig decided to repost his NRA panel hack below. It only gets more relevant with each day that passes. And so I'm going to play it again, as I did, I guess, well, I can tell you the days when it came out. But here we go.
The chair recognizes the gentleman at microphone 1A.
Thank you. My name is Jason Selvig, and I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida. And I would like to say that I am sick and tired of the left-wing media, and frankly, people in this room today spreading misinformation about Wayne LaPierre. Whenever there's a mass shooting, they all say that Wayne LaPierre isn't doing enough to stop these mass shootings, and even implying that Wayne LaPierre has played a part in making it easier for these shooters to get guns, to get weapons. You heard it after Las Vegas. You heard it after Pulse nightclub in Orlando. You heard it after Columbine. You heard it after Parkland. You heard it after Virginia Tech. You heard it after Sandy Hook. You heard it after El Paso. You heard it after Buffalo. You kept hearing that Wayne LaPierre isn't doing enough. And frankly, that's not true. The NRA, under Wayne LaPierre's leadership, has provided thoughts and prayers to the victims and their families. And maybe these mass shootings would stop happening if we all thought a little bit more and we prayed a little bit more. So I'm asking everyone in this room to think, to pray. Give your thoughts and your prayers and your thoughts and your prayers and your prayers and your thoughts. And if we give enough of these thoughts and these prayers, these mass shootings will stop. So I want to thank you for all your thoughts and all your prayers. Thank you.
You hear there's some people there laughing. They still didn't get it. Wayne LaPierre with a scowl on his face. I think he got it. Okay, I just switched it back to Heartbeat of the Tri-County. I wanted to go back and do a little review of those stories about Wayne LaPierre and the NRA. It was May the 31st that I had this story that Jason Selvig, the comedian, infiltrates the NRA event to mock Wayne LaPierre specifically, this whole thoughts and prayers. It came from The Guardian then. And then I go back a little bit in time, kind of looking through my mailbag at some of these old stories from May of 2021, more than a year ago, from Newsbreak app. Federal judge tosses out the NRA's bad faith petition for bankruptcy. That was right, folks. As I recall, they were trying to file bankruptcy, and then they left New York State and ran. They ran for Texas, in terms of that. And yes, as I recall from that story. And this is an amazing story from April of 2021 from the Daily News. NRA CEO LaPierre sought safety on a yacht after mass school shootings. It talks about all the ones. His friend's yacht, the Resolute. He went there because he was afraid of all people in this country to be afraid. Sure, our children are afraid. Our parents are afraid of all these gun incidents. But when he gets afraid, he runs to his friend's yacht after all these mass school shootings. I'm not going to read the story again. I read it more than a year ago. It was from the Daily News. Check that one. Google that. And I'll be right back once again with this story about Peter Gabriel and that ubiquitous song that you hear all the time. And so I'll have that in a moment. There's some Peter Gabriel music in the background. And it's not the song that's ubiquitous, but I thought I'd use it to talk over this thing. Get out that sledgehammer, Peter. Bam, bam. Absolutely. From mentalfloss.com. How Peter Gabriel's Salisbury Hill inadvertently became a Hollywood soundtrack staple. Certain songs have transformative powers, and Peter Gabriel's Salisbury Hill is definitely one of them. This became clear in 2005 when film editor Robert Ryang used the 1977 classic rock staple in his recut trailer for the classic 1980 horror film, The Shining. A lot of dates there, huh? Yeah. The song Salisbury Hill from 1977, shortly after Peter left the band Genesis. It speaks about how Peter felt about that. That's my understanding of the thing. And this whole recutting of a trailer for the classic film, well, that's of course Jack Nicholson in The Shining, I guess, Here's Johnny. You guys remember that one. Anyway, the director cleverly paired director Stanley Kubrick's chilling visuals with Peter Gabriel's bouncy and bucolic folk rock ditty. And just like that, a terrifying psychological drama became a lighthearted rom-com about a dad with writer's block. The video went viral, spawning tons of imitations. The reason the joke worked is because By 2005, Salisbury Hill had already appeared in numerous movie trailers, and it's been used in at least one since. As Billboard writer Andrew Unterberger asserted, the song's words and melody have become immediately identifiable shorthand for personal journey. It's fitting because Peter Gabriel was on a personal journey of his own when he wrote Salisbury Hill and unwittingly kicked off a cultural chain of events that would involve, believe it or not, Bruce Springsteen, Scarlett Johansson, computer-animated fish, and yes, a hilariously non-threatening Jack Nicholson. All right, so we see him. I don't need that. Oh, yeah, here it is. On August the 15th, 1975, Peter Gabriel announced his departure from Genesis, the British prog rock band he had co-founded in 1967. Peter was the lead singer, and thanks in part to his outlandish stage costumes, he was the band's star attraction. But after the release of the band's sixth album, mentioned it before, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, 1975, Peter decided he'd had enough. The band's drummer, Phil Collins, took his place, and Genesis eventually went from artsy experimentalists to mainstream pop juggernauts. Peter said, "I felt I was becoming a sort of stereotype, sort of a rock star, falling into wanting that ego gratification," he said in the book Genesis, A History. "I didn't like myself, I didn't like the situation, and I didn't feel free." This was the inspiration behind Salisbury Hill, which became Peter's debut solo single. Peter wrote the song after meditating on the eponymous landform, which is located in Somerset, England. In the opening verse, Peter describes looking down on the city lights and encountering an eagle that swoops down with an important message. "Son, grab your things. I've come to take you home." According to producer Bob Ezrin, the original lyric went, "Son, make your life a taxi, not a tomb." That earlier line offers some insight into, Peter's thinking of it, but it doesn't make for a great hook. Now, Bob Ezrin deemed the language ugly. Fortunately, in the song's mixing stage, Peter switched to the now familiar and far superior "grab your things" line. In the second verse, Peter worries that his friends will think he's crazy. He vows to keep his mystical eagle revelation to himself, but is soon overcome with the feeling he's trapped in the machinery of life. He remains unhappy and unfulfilled until he decides to follow his heart and push back against the forces holding him back. "You can keep my things," he sings the final time through the chorus. "They've come to take me home." It's about being prepared to lose what you have for what you might get, or what you are for what you might be. Peter once said of the song, going on to say, "It's about letting go." And look what's starting in the background, all of its own accord. Okay, I'm letting go of the story now, and I'm going to sing this thing with Peter.
Climbing up on Salisbury Hill, I could see the city light. Wind was blowing, time stood still. Eagle flew out of the night. He was something to observe. Came in close, I heard a voice, standing, stretching every nerve. I had to listen, had no choice. I did not believe the information, just had to trust imagination. My heart going boom, boom, boom. Son, he said, grab your things, I'm gonna take you home. Yeah, for you. To keep in silence, I resigned. My friends would think I was a nut.
Peter Gabriel with Salisbury Hill. And we'll just continue, and basically I was going to give up on the rest of the article. I said, no, I think there's some more interesting thing in this thing. Now, Peter said, it's about being prepared to lose what you have for what you might get, or what you are for what you might be. It's about letting go. The Genesis exit worked out pretty well for Peter. Salisbury Hill arrived in early 1977 and reached number 13 on the UK charts, establishing Peter as a solo star in the making. In America, the single peaked at number 68 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was a minor hit that would have a long afterlife. Now, for years, an urban legend suggested that Gabriel was moved to write Salisbury Hill after witnessing The Boss. Yes, Bruce Springsteen, and his debut in UK in the 1975. According to lore, the eagle in the lyrics is actually Springsteen, and his earth-shattering concert was what led Peter to quit Genesis and go solo. As it happens, Peter was at the Hammersmith Odeon the night Springsteen first rocked London, and he was utterly blown away by the Boss's show. But Peter says it's hogwash to suggest that there's any connection between that night and his departure from Genesis or the writing of Salisbury Hill. Peter says, because when I left Genesis, I just wanted to be out of the music business. That's what he told Rolling Stone magazine. He said, I felt like I was just in the machinery. We knew what we were going to be doing in 18 months or 2 years ahead. I just did not enjoy that. Incidentally, Bruce Springsteen and Peter Gabriel ended up touring together as part of 1988's Human Rights Now World Tour, which benefited Amnesty International. They never sang Salisbury Hill together, but they did join forces with tourmates Sting, Tracy Chapman, and Youssou N'Dour for spirited renditions of Bob Marley's Get Up, Stand Up, and Bob Dylan's Chimes of Freedom, and the Beatles boosted rock standard Twist and Shout, Of course, over the weekend on Sunday Sunrise featured Monsignor Jim Vaughn of Religion and Rock, and Chimes of Freedom by Bruce Springsteen was one of the Monsignor's selections this past weekend. Now, if the website soundtrack.net is correct, Salisbury Hill made its movie trailer debut in 2001 preview for the mind-bending Tom Cruise thriller Vanilla Sky. Wasn't that a wonderful, wonderful film? I'll never forget, Tom running down a hallway and yelling, tech support, tech support. What a fantastic film, the whole thing. I'll never forget when Faye asked me, she says, am I your Julia or am I your Sophia? After we had seen the film, I said, no, you're my Faye. You're my Faye, absolutely. Anyway, also it was used in trailers for 2003's Big Fish and 2004's In Good Company, a rom-com starring Dennis Quaid, Scarlett Johansson, and Topher Grace. There must have been something in the air in the early 2000s because synth pop greats Erasure notched a top 10 UK hit with their cover of Salisbury Hill in 2004. A 2005 New York Times piece about the recut Shining trailer, which won first place in a film editing contest, describes Salisbury Hill as a way too overused. The article mentions the song's then recent appearance in the trailer for In Good Company, so that film might have been the tipping point in terms of people recognizing the phenomena. Despite or because of the song's well-established history of scoring trailers, Disney recycled Salisbury Hill for a preview of 2016 Pixar feature Finding Dory. That would be a good little segue into this whole thing about what happened to Tim Allen and why was he replaced, in the Toy Story franchise. Now, Salisbury Hill has also appeared in numerous TV shows as well as commercials for Singular and Nespresso. The latter spot features George Clooney as a knight on a quest for his favorite coffee. Peter donated the money he earned from the ad to support Dr. Joanne Kurtzberg, a professor using cord blood stem cells to treat children with autism. Speaking to Rolling Stone magazine in 2011, right around the time he released New Blood, an album of orchestral reworkings of his classic songs, including Salisbury Hill, Peter admitted that he'd maybe been a little too eager to license his debut single. But I've started to take the attitude that it was harder getting on the radio, and trailers and film music and syncs are a good alternative, but I know some people feel that the song is overexposed. and I let it be used too many times. But it is a great song, and I really enjoy singing it on the program whenever it does come up. And the story, thank you very much to Kenneth Partridge for MentalFloss.com. I'll be back with that final story, as I mentioned, whatever happened to Tim Allen, when I return. You're listening to The Morning Show. All right, music by Randy Newman from the original Toy Story 1995, posted out there by Michael Maffio. Thank you, Michael, for this fantastic thing. This really helps me a lot if I can get something behind me when I read some of these great stories. This one's written by Tracy Wright for Fox News. Tom Hanks was confused by Disney replacing Tim Allen with Chris Evans in Lightyear. Tom says, "I don't understand." Now, Tom Hanks admitted he was confused by Disney's decision to replace Tim Allen with Chris Evans in the new film Lightyear, about Allen's fictional Toy Story character, Buzz Lightyear. The 65-year-old actor was asked if it was strange to be in theaters opposite a Buzz Lightyear film as his Elvis flick rolled through Cinemax and cinemas at the same time. "How about that?" Tom said. "Actually, I wanted to go head-to-head with Tim Allen, and then they didn't let Tim Allen do it. I don't understand that." When further asked about the studio's decision to bring in Evans instead of Allen, Hanks said, Yeah, I know. Here's the thing. Just as long as people come back to the motion picture theater, I want to go back in the theater with a bunch of strangers and leave with something in common. That's what I want to do. And going to see a movie with him, Tim, I'm looking forward to that. Lightyear just finished at its third weekend at the box office and has earned nearly $107 million so far. Allen, 60, talked about the confusing recasting with Extra last week and said the new Buzz Lightyear character was completely different from his original interpretation. Tim said, "This is a whole new team that really had nothing to do with the first movies." Now, Tim had famously voiced the astronaut doll character since 1995 and reprised the role for Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3, and, yes, Toy Story 4, in addition to a host of other projects. The home improvement star was shocked to learn that the new Disney film was not a live-action movie starring real humans like he was told. The short answer is I've stayed out of this. I thought it was a live action when they said they were doing it live action. That's what I thought to mean real humans and not an animated thing. Okay, I think that's really it from Fox on that story. That's a fine story. Now, on my main display, and it said that for really about 15 minutes now, Malibu, my car, says fuel level low, which means I got to head over to the gas station. Those of you that follow my program, then you know that the gas station is right across the street from the Two Heart Sunglasses supermarket. This is Gustavo Trabian once again with the acoustical cover version to Ronan Keating's classic song from the 1999 film Notting Hill.
It's amazing how you can speak right to my heart. Without saying a word, you can light up the dark.
Gustavo Trevian with his song, and yes, now I'm pulled up alongside the pump, gonna go get Malibu that gas. I'll be back with one more song. You're listening to The Morning Show. Okay, I got Malibu a few gallons of gas. Didn't fill her up. Of course, gas so expensive now, at just about almost $5 a gallon. And now I'm heading back to my apartment in mobile mode. Phil, take me the rest of the way.
They don't tell me
Phil. Yeah, Phil got me here, and we've come full circle. Started here in the driveway at my apartment. My landlord, M, is not here. Otherwise, well, I would have gone around the block and finished up the song, with Phil. But Phil, thank you so much. And of course, you guys know, love Phil and his music, and I thank him. And of course, all the artists that appeared on the program today. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you join me again tomorrow on The Morning Show. Bye-bye now.